and welcome back to my channel. So I am incredibly excited about today's video for two reasons. The first one is that I've been wanting to have earned the right to make this video for such a long time. I've seen so many how to wake up at 5 a.m. videos and I've never been able to make one because I could never wake up at 5 a.m. But I always suspected that I would want to be the kind of person who did. And now guys, I am that person. I'm an early riser. I am the early bird who gets the worm. I've been waking up at between 5 and 5:30 since January 1st, like the cliche that I am, but it's worked. It's actually worked. The only reason I decided I wanted to get up early was just because I was curious. I wanted to see what I could achieve if I did that, because I'd heard so many good things about waking up early, which leads me to my second point. What have I been doing with these extra productive hours I've been giving myself every single horribly early morning? I have been working on a workbook that I am so excited to show you. It is a book of exercises that I have written to help you understand exactly where the moment now and who you are fits in to the grand scheme of your life. So the places you've been and the goals that you have set yourself. There are three main sections of the book. There is looking back at who you were last month, there's looking at who you are this month, and there is looking at who you are going to be next month and on into the future. So the idea is that you need to fully understand the impact of now and where you are and how you've got to this place in order to get to where you want to be in the future. So there are these three different sections, and each section has 6 exercises, and they don't all have to be done every single month. You can pick and choose. The idea is that you do an exercise from each section in order to prepare you for the month to come. It is a workbook that you can keep on coming back to just to keep you on track, to keep you aligned with what's important to you. But this book is essentially every useful thought process or strategy or technique towards life that I have ever found useful. So I wanted to put them all together and I wanted to share them with you. It's called the Monthly Guide Workbook, and you'll find it for sale on my website, which I'll have linked in the description. But if you cannot afford it, I don't want to limit the value of this book just to people who can afford to actually buy it. So if you can't afford the book, please get in touch with me via my website and we'll be able to sort something out. I truly believe that this book will bring value to everyone who engages with it, because it involves looking at yourself properly and really understanding yourself. And I think that in order to get to wherever we want to be, we need to work with ourselves. And that's kind of the point of the book. We need to understand ourselves, we need to know how we work, and that's what's going to sort of propel us into the future that we want to have. So that's what I've been doing with my extra productive hours. Let's find out what you're going to do with yours. And again, it is all about working with yourself. You can't just jolt your life just randomly, just decide that you're going to do everything differently. You are a certain person, and in order to achieve what you want to achieve, you have to be your friend, you have to have your own back, and you can't be too hard on yourself. You need to sort of implement strategies that are going to be helpful for you. You can't just decide and all of a sudden that's it. Number 1, on an evening, prepare for the next morning like you are your own child. You need to imagine that early morning you is like a sheep that needs herding, and evening you is the shepherd or the sheepdog, or however you would like to paint this analogy. Get your clothes ready. If you have work that you're planning on doing, have that out on the table. Have a bullet journal out with like a list of things that you might want to do. Get your laptop there if that's what you're going to be working on. And you need to make sure you prepare the environment so that you can just wake up out of bed, you can wander into whichever room you're going to be wandering into, and you know exactly what is expected of you. The thing that early morning you needs is purpose. So make sure that you set the environment out so that purpose is obvious. Point number 2 is to set your alarm in another room so that you have to physically get out of bed in the morning, go into another room to switch it off. Now, I have a couple of points that I'd like to add about the alarm. I have found the perfect alarm sound, and I'm very happy about that, because I have sort of toyed between the horrific screeching sounds and the pleasant, bearable, I'm just going to have this in the background while I continue to sleep sounds. I've been looking for something that's a nice halfway point because I want to wake up nicely, you know? I want to wake up without panicking. And I found that in the song Come Out and Play by Billie Eilish. And I really like Billie Eilish, but this particular song, which obviously I cannot play you because of copyright and that, It has this line, and I know it makes you nervous, but I promise you it's worth it. I think that's the line anyway. And whenever I hear that line coming from the living room when I'm in bed, I think to myself, oh, you know what? You know what? It is worth it. It's just a very nice song as well. I like it as a song on its own, but in terms of something that, gets me motivated to get out of bed without, being too aggressive about it, it's perfect. Also, if you are in the position to be able to do this, have your phone on airplane mode while you're asleep, because then when you turn your alarm off, you won't be greeted by loads of notifications that are going to distract you from what it is that you actually intend to do. Number 3 is an obvious one, but go to bed early. And for the first few nights, you will go to bed early and you won't be able to sleep. And that will be annoying, but it'll be fine. You'll get used to it. It's a case of creating these patterns and creating these habits. So even though, you're going to bed at 8, and you're just lying there thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? You got to stick with it, because it's going to become your new norm, and your new norm is going to open up so much potential for you. Number 4 is to preempt your resistance. So when you wake up in the morning, you're going to have a little conversation with yourself. You're going to have to sort some things out in your head, and you're going to have to talk yourself into actually getting out of bed. Now, you probably already heard of this, but Mel Robbins has something called the 5-second rule. And the idea of it is that as soon as you get the instinct to do something that's going to help you progress in the direction you want to go in, so for example, getting out of bed, you count down from 5 to 1, and then when you get to 1, you go and do the thing. The idea is that you don't have enough time to talk yourself out of things because your brain is busy counting down. You're focusing on counting down from 5 to 1. So you're lying in bed, you think, oh, I'm going to need to, do I really want to do this? What am I doing? Then you just go, no, you need to do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you go and you're up and the day begins. What works for me is remembering why it is that I'm doing that. And I'm not talking bigger picture why, first of all, because bigger picture why is very difficult to understand when you're so warm and toasty and comfortable in the bed. So the thing that makes me excited to get out of bed early is the idea that I never ever liked the concept of going to bed and then going to work. Like, it's 2 back-to-back things. Like, that always made me feel a little bit out of control and like I didn't have enough time for myself. But going to bed, knowing that I have this little bit of time where I can do what I want to do before I have to go to work, in terms of making me feel like I have some active control over my life, has been life-changing. Just as a concept, just as a way of me viewing my world, it just feels so different. So when I wake up in the morning and I don't want to get out of bed, I just think to myself, if I don't get out of bed now, the next thing I'm going to be doing is getting ready for work. The very next thing that I need to do is get ready and go to work. And that makes me think, oh no, I don't want that to be the next thing that I do. I'm going to get up so I can do something nice or something productive or something that builds towards a future I want. And it's not that I don't like my job. I really, really like my job, but just mentally, it's really, really, really helpful for me. But the idea is that you need a strategy. So when you wake up in the morning and you don't want to get up, what are you going to do? What are you going to tell yourself? Number 5 is stop drinking caffeine around about 1. You need really about 7 hours of non-caffeine hours before you go to bed. Otherwise, it's still going to affect you. Number 6 is to do something that is already in your routine. So for example, if you go to the bathroom, we've gone to the bathroom since we were children. We know what we do in there. You go in the bathroom, you do the things you do in the bathroom, and you don't even have to think about it because it's so ingrained in, it's such an ingrained pattern. So when you wake up in the morning and you still feel like you're dreaming and nothing's quite clear just yet, get yourself in the bathroom, get yourself acting on a routine that you already have ingrained in you. Or maybe it could be making a cup of tea. Or something I found useful was going to the gym. So, the night before I'd lay out all of my clothes, I have my bag ready, then I wake up in the morning, clothes on, bag, off I go, get to the gym. Then I've got my routine laid out in front of me. I know what I'm doing when I'm at the gym, so I just do it. That's the key, really, isn't it? It's just doing it, but you have to figure out how to work with yourself to get to that point. So if you have any established routines in your house or in your life, use them to kind of carry you through the minutes until you are a little bit more awake. Number 7 is to have something to do, and this should ideally be linked to your why in some way. So why are you getting up and what are you going to spend that time doing? And this should all be linked to one of your priorities in some way. So maybe your priority at the moment is taking it easy and relaxing, in which case, you know, getting up at 5 and then spending that time doing something nice and relaxing is absolutely fine. Maybe your priority is building a business, and if that's the case, then that time probably is better spent working towards that. What I would not do though is leave it up to your morning self to make that decision. Decide the night before what it is you're going to do. Remember to treat your morning self like a bit of an idiot, like a moron who is just stumbling around your house. Number 8 is probably not for everybody, but it's definitely been the most useful for me in terms of consistency, and it is to have a cat. So I have an Arwen, and she is very, very nice, but she's gotten used to me getting up early. And now even if I want you to have a lie-in, I'm not allowed. It'll start off, I sort of sleep a bit like this, and it'll start off with just a little gentle tap on the hand, and that's quite sweet. And then, you know, I will sort of stir slightly, and I think, oh, that's awfully sweet. Hello, Owen, good morning. And then she smacks me, like really smacks me. So not a claw, she's not trying to hurt me, she's not trying to break my skin. She just punches me in the face, and I don't know how her tiny little fluffy arm is capable of this kind of force, but it is a lot. I think that perhaps I could have fallen off this habit if it wasn't for her, maybe, I don't know. I feel like I'm quite a determined person, but also it definitely helps to have a tiny little muscly, furry, shouting thing that wants feeding at 5 a.m. So yeah, get a cat. It's weird because it's like an actual punch. It's like she's done this. It's like she's gone like this and then punched me. Obviously my eyes are closed at this time, so I can't really see what's going on, but it feels like that. It's really hard. Anyway, so I hope there was something in that video that was useful. Anyway, please check out my book that I have written. What a weird thing to say. I've written a book of exercise. It's a workbook more than like a book, but I hope that there is something of value in it for you anyway. I truly think there is, but I know we're all different as well, so it might not be for you, and that's totally fine as well. But if you watch my videos, I kind of feel like you're like me. Like I feel like we are similar people, so you might get the same sort of value from it that I do. But again, don't worry if you don't. And as I said at the beginning, if you can't afford the book, but you do think you would get value from it, please, please, please get in touch. Don't be embarrassed to get in touch. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to be able to help you out. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you are doing incredibly well today, and I will see you in my next video. But I've just remembered something as well. On Saturday, the 16th of March, I am releasing my new single, which is very exciting. So it'll be available on Spotify and on YouTube and on all the other things that you can listen to music on. So if you would like to give that a listen, or buy it even, but I feel like I'm plugging enough this video, so you can just listen to it on Spotify, that's fine, on YouTube. But yeah, if you are interested in hearing the song that's been at the end of my videos for a little while in full, you can do that on the 16th, which is something else that I have achieved. So yeah, waking up at 5 a.m, there's definitely something to it. I just did it out of curiosity at first. It's proven itself to me, and it's only been 3 months as well, 3.5 months, but wonderful thing, waking up at 5 a.m. So I hope you're well, sending you all of my best, and I will see you later. I'll leave the link for everything in the description, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.
Your position, heartfelt, social condition, not bad, but I have it any other way. Day and night, it's not the same as being wrong, right? There is truly grace, but sometimes Sunday is easy and something